So in from the right now, just touching down on the runway is the Tornado. Telling us earlier on, keep a close eye on her as she lands. The crew have got something special planned, not sure what it is. Now, change direction. So if you're looking across towards the sun, look down to your left, you can see her coming in now, just above the hangar with the red stripe. Coming ever closer, that uniquely distinctive shape, with the camera ship trailing some distance behind. And the under... Look at that, what a stirring sight she is, underlying along just ahead of her. So if they're taking pictures as she lands, you'll all be in the pictures, so let's give her a big wave as she comes on in, especially the kids. You can see the air brake there extended above the wing. Well, that was unfortunate, wasn't it, that he couldn't bring her into land straight away and will have to come round again. Obviously, wasn't quite happy with the way things were set up. She was, as she opened up the throttles to power round for that go-around. Just be prepared for the same again in case the same thing happens.
Can you move back then? Move forward when it comes. Yeah. Not your fault.
And without doing the overshoot. So Martin discards the parachute now. And so if he didn't get enough photographs as he came in on the landing run, there's a chance now to get a few more as she taxis back up the runway. You can see that the air brake that was there just behind the cockpit has now been retracted. having taken off from Ascension Islands. It was actually stationed off the Argentinian coast, keeping an eye out for any Argentinian aircraft. There's the Rapide just getting airborne, tail wheel up. Keeping an eye out for any Argentinian aircraft that may have been scrambled to intercept the Vulcan bomber force, of which it was only one. The Nimrod replacement, the MRA-4, is expected in 2012. Nimrod, the mighty hunter. Nimrod, of course, used in the anti-submarine, anti-surface shipping role, and also search and rescue. 4 engines, but endurance on patrol. Well, we've got the Venoms have arrived. They snuck in without my noticing. That's the thing about the in-facing door. I can see out of the windows, but only directly out of the windows. Can't see what's coming in. So there we are. But should be a pleasant one to observe nonetheless. Why did the image of a on roller skates? Number 1 clears his undercarriage and flaps up. That you can buy from the Classic Flight shop. High-speed, low-level pass, the Venom very quiet. You wouldn't get many complaints for the neighbours if you flew those in and out of the aircraft all day and all night, would you? Speed run. Air Force, and was later transferred to reserve forces for training in the same role. There we are, just coming into land now on the runway, arrived very quietly. The Percival Prentice girding up its loins, ready to get airborne. You too can fly in this aircraft, 75 pounds a seat. There we are, the tail wheel is up. And it's clear of the runway. Very slow, 260 horsepower engine, great fun to fly, and I had the pleasure of flying in the back of this aircraft just over a week ago. The first time I'd taken off in an aircraft from Coventry Airport since I did my flying scholarship here as here by numbers 5 and 8 on the diagram of the airfield. Talking of numbers 5 and 8, number 8 which is the headquarters of the Army Air Corps. So do get along and have a chat to them. If you go there now, you can have a quick chat to them before getting ready for the police demonstration that's taking place sometime between 1:15 and 1:30. Aircraft at the airfield. So although he's going a different way to what the... Oh no, he's going back again. I was going to say, it's going the opposite direction to what the Lemons did. So, the jet provost, let's say a little bit about that. On the design, and the T5 was the result. So that canopy was more bulbous than the previous version to accommodate the pressurized cockpit. It made its first flight on the 28th of February 1967, and a total of 110 Jet Provost T5 in 73 and 1976. 93 were modified by an upgrade in avionics equipment to become T5A, who is the chairman of Patriot Aerospace, the new owners of Coventry Airport. And it is an aircraft that can... was sold at auction to Nottinghamshire-based Ruddington Aviation, who registered it on the civilian register on the 10th of August 1995. She remained with Ruddington Aviation for 4 years until being re-registered. Like the Prentice, the Percival Provost was a tail dragger with a tail plane. One of the things that made the Jet Provost good as a trainer was the bicycle undercarriage with the nose wheel. In service with the RAF for 38 years, so quite an extensive period, from 1955 to 1993. Now, there's an air ability, but that may be the aircraft that's flown in by Arthur, an ex-Marine, paraplegic, and Air Ability is one of the charities that trains disabled people to fly. We've got their chairman, John Wind, over here with us, amongst the Jet Provost earlier, Alan Hartley. He's over by the Dakotas, by the transport command over. That's over on the right side, Hangar 4, and where he's
a number of methods, Peter. The first is actually via our website. We have a lot of people that...
and David in it, so please do give them a wave as they pass along the display line. They're just coming up in front of the Nimrod now. So Arthur Williams and Dave Corcoran, one ex and one current serving Marine, and the Dakota gets rolling. Famous for its role dropping the British parachute regiment at Arnhem. The Russians, and so the only way of keeping the city supplied was by air. A nice flyby now. Another very distinctive wing design, as you'll see as the aircraft banks at the end of that run. So, Dakota coming into land now, flaps down. And as the Dakota backtracks up the runway, just ahead of it you can see the Vampire T-11. Training aircraft that's up here from North Weald. An interesting pair of aircraft to have if you can have got a wide angle lens that can get them all in the same shot together. Get them both, I should say. The Vampire was commissioned by the RAF during the Second World War, but entered service just too late to see combat. It was the second jet fighter to enter RAF service after the Gloucester Meteor, and it continued to serve with frontline RAF squadrons until 1955, and being retained by the RAF as a jet trainer until 1966. The first public appearance by the Vampire was in machines from B-47 squadron was chosen to use the 60-day flight path over London on the 8th of June 1946. One of many claims to fame by the nimble little jet fighter, land on an aircraft carrier and the first jet aircraft to fly across the Atlantic Ocean. You can see it succeed at no means smooth either. And the numbers, or let's just listen to her rolling very quietly up the runway. You can see the side-by-side seating, much bigger than what we saw on the single-seat Venoms earlier on. Pilot, all-metal twin-boom tricycle undercarriage, so that's with a nose wheel instead of a tail wheel, armed with 4 hammers. The use of that twin-boom kept the jet pipe prototype XP-80. The production Vampire Mark I didn't fly until April 1945. There's a nice view of the twin boom design and the upper side. So we saw the Prentice landing there, so don't forget, still a chance to book a pleasure flight in the Prentice or the Rapide 75, which I think is inaccurately named. I think it should have stuck with the historic aircraft flight, which is what it was originally called when it was formed. The officer is assisted by a retired officer known as the Flight Operations Officer or Adjutant, and also a civilian administrative assistant. They're based at RAF Coningsby. It's well worth a visit if you're ever in the area in Lincolnshire. They were due here 5 minutes ago. So we'll let you have an update as soon as I know it. Oh, the Anson, the first aircraft what I ever flew in as a 13-year-old air cadet. And the tail wheel is raised. And airborne in pretty short order. strategic nuclear deterrent. They were equipped with a British hydrogen bomb, codenamed Yellow Sun, which had a power of 1 million tons of high explosive, or a nuclear-tipped cruise missile called Blue Steel. Ever flew with a live nuclear weapon, which really just demonstrates the success of that strategy of deterrence. It uses tactical nuclear and conventional bombers. Bearing in mind, and she's now the oldest complete Vulcan in the world, as well as the only one that's flying. And that Black Buck mission that the captain today, Squadron Leader Martin Withers, led in the Vulcan in 1982 in the Falklands War, was at the time the longest ever bombing mission undertaken, a return journey of nearly 8,000 miles, taking 15 hours and 45 minutes. RAF service, flying on from 1986 to 93 as the single RAF display Vulcan, a total career with the RAF of 33 years. In Leicestershire, having been sold off by the Ministry of Defence. So let's hope that this departure that's about to take off, and look, it isn't the last ever time that the Vulcan is seen in public in the UK. So winding up those engines, brakes off, and away she goes. Directly ahead of the Canberra Cafe at the moment. Banking round. This will quite probably be another noisy fly past. How effective that camouflage scheme is, doesn't it, against the grey sky there. You almost lost the sight of the aircraft. So just taxiing out now the Tornado GR4 out from where the Vulcan was. Maybe afterburner on, particularly against that grey sky. Here we go. And watch at the end of the run, as I'm sure he'll swing the wings back and accelerate.